Hello, I'm Laura Marshall.
And I'm Melinda Rose, and this is Light Matters for March 20th, 2013.
On today's show, evidence grows for the Higgs Boson discovery, a single fiber endoscope prototype is as small as a human hair, electronic chips heal themselves after laser blasts, AFM-IR identifies chemicals on the nanoscale, and IPG Photonics acquires Mobius Photonics.
The particle discovered last summer at the Large Hadron Collider, or LHC, in Geneva looks more than ever like a Higgs boson, according to preliminary results released last week at a conference in Italy. After analyzing data from 2,000 trillion collisions of subatomic particles, more than twice as much as what led to the original discovery, physicists at the CMS and ATLAS experiments are confident that the particle is the standard model Higgs. The standard model of physics describes the fundamental particles from which we and every visible thing in the universe are made, and the forces acting between them. Scientists have specific predictions for how often a standard model Higgs boson of a certain mass will decay into different patterns of particles. The detection of the boson is a very rare event. It takes about 1 trillion proton-proton collisions for each observed event. To characterize all of the decay modes will require much more data. However, the latest results indicate that the particle is sticking to the standard model script. CERN's collider is down for 2 years of maintenance and upgrades, and studies of the data will continue before the shutdown to determine whether the particle is a Higgs or something even more surprising.
Some patients dread the endoscope more than the potential diagnosis, but a new prototype is less scary. It's about as thin as a human hair, and it happens to deliver resolution 4 times better than previous similar devices. It could enable new methods in fields ranging from brain studies to early cancer detection. The Micro-Endoscope, developed at Stanford, can resolve objects about 2.5 microns in size, with a resolution of 0.3 microns within reach. High-res endoscopes currently in use can resolve objects only to about 10 microns. Multimode fibers are the key, in combination with a spatial light modulator and an adaptive algorithm to unscramble the images produced by the modulator's random light patterns. Electrical engineering professor Joseph Kahn and his students were stunned at the endoscope's unexpected resolution. They figured out that random intensity patterns mix the modes propagating through the fiber, increasing the number of modes 4-fold and producing 4 times as much detail in the image. The working prototype is limited because the fiber must remain rigid. Bending a multimode fiber scrambles the image beyond recognition. The fiber must be placed in a thin needle to keep it rigid for insertion, but they plan to work on flexibility. The results appear in Optics Express.
Catastrophic failure in the brains of smartphones and other electronics could be a thing of the past now that engineers at the California Institute of Technology demonstrated an integrated circuit that heals itself even after half its components are vaporized using a high-powered laser. They demonstrated the circuit's self-healing capability by destroying various sections on tiny power amplifiers by zapping them multiple times with a high-powered laser. The chips automatically developed a workaround in less than a second. The devised power amplifier uses many robust on-chip sensors to monitor temperature, current, voltage, and power. The sensors feed information into a custom-made application-specific IC unit on the same chip. This brain analyzes the amplifier's overall performance and determines whether any of the system's actuators need adjustment. Looking at 20 different chips, the investigators discovered that the amplifiers with the self-healing capability consumed about half as much power as those without, and their overall performance was much more predictable and reproducible. The results appeared in IEEE's Transactions on Microwave Theory and Techniques.
Atomic force microscopy has been used to measure the size, shape, and mechanical or electrical properties of materials at the nanometer scale for decades, but a new technique combines AFM with infrared spectroscopy to measure a material's chemistry and chemical composition. The new AFM-IR technique, developed at the University of Illinois, allows the chemical properties of polymer structures to be measured down to 15 nanometers, not generally possible using AFM. Adding IR spectroscopy offers information about chemical bonding in a sample, which can be used to identify the polymer structures at about an order of magnitude smaller than those measured previously. The researchers tested the AFM-IR dynamics using a wavelet transform, which organizes the AFM-IR signals that vary in both time and frequency. By separating the time and frequency components, they improved the signal-to-noise within AFM-IR. The method is suitable for a variety of applications, including semiconductors, composite materials, and medical diagnostics. The study appeared in the Review of Scientific Instruments.
IPG Photonics acquired privately held Mobius Photonics last week to accelerate entry of IPG's fiber into the ultraviolet laser market and broaden its opportunities in fine processing. Specific terms, including the purchase price, were not disclosed. Mobius provides high-power pulsed UV fiber lasers for micromachining, via drilling, and solar hybrid panel processing. Its revenue in 2012 was about $1.4 million. Its employees will become part of the IPG Silicon Valley Technology Center, IPG said. The company's most recent previous acquisition was JPSA in August 2012.
Well, that's it for this edition of Light Matters, Photonics Media's weekly newscast.
As always, you can write to us with your questions or comments at lightmatters@photonics.com.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
We're developing new technologies to detect and image the structure of dental decay that don't involve ionizing radiation or X-rays. Some of these imaging technologies have additional capabilities beyond the capabilities of X-rays. And so you can't use X-rays to detect all types of decay, particularly in the early stages. And so some of these imaging technologies are designed to detect dental decay at the early stages, so you can intervene with chemical intervention before it's necessary to drill and fill.